Yo, it's good. Sorry for the late start today. Been having some difficulties with my episode 30 video. Airdrop is being a bitch, and Instagram's not letting me post the entire thing. So if anybody wants to see episode 30, which was yesterday's episode with my sister, it is available on the YouTube page, Chop 15 with Jay Walker, and it's also available at my website, jwalkermedia.com, on the first page. Yeah. But welcome to episode 31 of Chop 15 with Jay Walker. My guest today is someone I met about 11 years ago in Reno. DJ, producer, dope at both of the things. It's my man Byron, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him in and start this interview off. It's good.
Yo, what up?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're dark.
There we go. What's good, man? Let me turn this up. Wow, nice to see you, bro.
Hey, good to see you too, man. How you doing?
Chilling, man. Living in New York. I've been out here for 9 years now. And that's cool, man. I dig it, you know.
Crazy. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, so you just jumped right into it. So what made you move to New York?
So I have a friend out here that was he had a courier service. Mm-hmm. So I was talking to him for a little while, and you know, I was getting a little in Reno. It was just, I loved it. I loved the scene and everything, but it was just a lot of, you know, like doing people favors, not getting anything in return, stuff like that. And it's a lot of, I don't know. I was young, kind of like, I don't know, a little too focused on like the success of music maybe, and being successful and stuff like that. That's what I really think it was. It's like I was in this little city where I grew up, mm-hmm. and surrounded by people that I basically grew up around, you know, mm-hmm. and I felt like trapped for a little bit. So my friend offered me a job out here, so I came like straight out here. All I took was MPC and my bass guitar.
Okay.
I lived on this dude's couch for like 6 months, worked with him, mm-hmm. and then went home for Christmas. Sorry. And I don't know, I was just dreaming about coming back here. So like I just love at the time I loved the energy out here, you know, like there's something at like with this place that really gives you a lot of drive no matter what, you know.
Yeah.
And for me it was just like I wanted to have a time to get away from everything and just focus on me and my music, and that's it, and not like the success of music, and really just like why I do it. And yeah, so I learned how to play guitar out here, man. I never played guitar before. I stayed on this dude's couch. I just, you know, messed around with it forever, and then just started like learning stuff off of YouTube, really, you know?
That's yeah. Dope, man. So how has it been out there with everything going on with COVID? I know it was ground zero for a while and everything was really bad out there. How is it now?
Yeah. I didn't see a lot of like what was going on necessarily, mm-hmm. but I got laid off from my full-time job. I used to work at a nonprofit with like for kids that have autism.
Okay.
And basically, I didn't necessarily work with them, but like I interacted with them on a day-to-day basis and everything. But I was in the charge of the transportation department, mm-hmm. and you know, we were going strong through the beginning of it, and then they started talking about laying people off and all that. So I got laid off from there. And right at that moment, my girl told me that she was pregnant. So I was like, oh. Yeah. Like I can't just sit here on unemployment, you know? Right. So I got unemployment for like 2 weeks, and then at the same time I had been kind of like trying to make a change from that job. So I'd been putting out my resume everywhere. So I got a job with Frito-Lay doing like chip deliver, like basically just stocking the stores, merchandising.
Okay.
And I've been doing that out here, and it's crazy, man. You wouldn't believe how much chips we've sold during this whole quarantine. It's insane.
I bet. I bet.
So, it's been crazy.
So you've been doing that during all this?
Yeah. So 2 weeks I was off from work, and I just, man, I was starting to go crazy. Even though when I have time off, all I do is do music. Mm-hmm. You know, I'll just do it like consistently, but even that was just like, man, I actually need to like I need to do something else during the day to motivate me more to make music and everything. So it's
Gotcha.
actually it's like life just forms all together, you know, whatever you're doing, you know. Some people just need to do music full time. I think I'm like I personally learned through that I need maybe to have something else that I do during the day that just like maybe all the thoughts just like time to build up and everything, and then I come home and I have the inspiration, you know.
Right. Right.
And it just because I noticed it lacking like during the quarantine, just 2 weeks, man. Like I put in a lot of work in the first like week, and then I just started kind of like slipping a little bit, getting more lazy, and then just uninspired, you know.
It kind of
So
goes in waves, man. Like, I've been pretty inspired during the time. I've kind of taken this time to like refocus on what I'm trying to do and what my goal is. So I feel like I've been productive, but I have had days and where I'm just
yeah,
like, I don't feel like doing shit. I just want to sit on the
yeah,
couch or just fucking play video games or just think about what the fuck's
exactly.
going on. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I get it.
and there's so much going on too besides just the COVID, you know. Like it's crazy. I don't know. So I mean, it's also a good time to create though too because there's so much going on, you know. Like
Yeah.
it's interesting, you know. But I don't know. I think like what I discovered through this whole thing is just me. For me, it's like go work a job all day long and kind of just like don't listen to music really either. Like I don't really listen to the radio too much. Just turn off the radio in the truck and just like and drive around kind of in silence and just kind of like what do I want to do when I get home, you know? Like
Right. Right.
think about it, bruise up, and then I don't know. It's kind of cool like that, I think.
Hey,
Um,
whatever works and keeps you going is
yeah,
working. So
exactly.
if that's what you need to do, then that's what you need to do. So it's
You
good
want to
that
know
you
something?
are still staying productive. You know what I'm saying?
Like
That's a great thing.
social media in general, just like seeing you like always putting out music and just the like me and you met probably what like 2009 or 10 or something
9 or
like
10,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I remember the first time I saw you, I think it was the first time I saw you. You were at, it was like a show that I was doing at the Knitting Factory. I saw you up in the top rafter, and then I was like, that dude's, that dude's like glowing, man, with energy, good energy.
Those
I just
were
felt like when I looked up, I felt like support, you know, like this dude sees that I love what I'm doing, and that's all that matters, you know?
dude,
So,
those were great times, man. It was like a 2 year window here from like maybe like '09 to about 11. It was
yeah,
like an unbelievable like scene at that point, man. Like when the Knitting
yeah,
Factory was
man.
popping and the Speak Your Mind festivals and all the
Yeah,
different groups and artists that were out, like it was a nice time in the city at that time. But then, it comes to an end. I've been in eras like that in other cities.
Mhm.
Sacramento was the same way. It was a great era, and then it kind of just dissolves a little bit, just naturally. It just happens.
Yeah. Were you in Sacramento, like in the like Cuff era and all that? Like,
Those are my big bros, man. I
yeah.
started rapping out there with them in 2001.
Dude, one of the coolest shows like I I wasn't even thinking about this before. Like I was like you said 15 minutes late. And I started thinking about what are we going to talk about, you know? But I didn't even think about the show that I played and I DJ for the Cuff, and they brought their music on a thumb drive, and I had this old iBook like 2000. It was probably like a 2001 iBook,
Oh shit.
maybe 2002. It was old as shit, but I got it from a friend
Yeah.
that stole it from somebody, and it was like broken. It was fucked up, but I liked it because it was a fucked up little computer that ran great, and if it got knocked over at the club or whatever, it doesn't matter, you
Yeah.
know, as long as it keeps working.
Yeah.
But it just wouldn't accept these dudes' thumb drive at all. I was like, what is going on, man? I can't find it anywhere. Maybe it was me being stupid. I don't know, but they were just like, oh man, just put on some instrumentals, you know, and like these
Where,
dudes
was
rock.
this in Reno?
It was in Sparks. It was in what was that place that was doing a lot of hip hop shows for a while? That was in Victorian Square.
I know where you're talking about. I don't remember the name, but I've done shows there. I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's a big, like kind of a big place
Yeah.
actually, like size wise, you know.
Mhm.
Like it took a lot to fill it up, but yeah, those dudes got on stage and they just rocked to any instrumental I played. They're just like, oh yeah, just mix it up, you know.
Yep.
I was like, these guys are so fucking awesome, you know. So
Yeah, man. Those
yeah,
dudes. The alley. Yep. Caesar said it. The alley. That was the spot.
the alley, yeah, yeah,
That was the
yeah,
spot.
dude. It's so fun, man. Like, because I remember in those times, like, there were artists here and there that, like, if something messed up during their set, it was just like the end of the world, you know? And to, like, it was like they turn around and blame the DJ in front of everyone.
I hate when people do that, man. I hate that shit. Or the sound guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't blame this. Don't mess with the sound guy. He can cut your mic off and be like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's
For
going
real,
on.
man. I hate it, but at the end of the, like, also it's a big part of, like, just music in general, you know? Like, it's just...
You have to be able to roll with the mistakes. There's going to be shit not
yeah.
your fault. There's going to be shit that's your fault. You got to be able to
Yeah.
stay calm in that. Because the crowd sees when you fuck up.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
If you
It puts a bad vibe in the party. It kills the party, basically. Like, that's one thing I learned from them, dude. Like, I always knew they were fun dudes, like, from their music and everything. It was never like it was always about fun and just, like, having a good time with hip hop and everything. And when I played that show with them, they really showed me that, dude, they're just there to party, bro. Like, they're just there to have a good time and rock the show.
Yeah.
People like it or not, they're still rocking, dude. Like,
Exactly.
It was really powerful for me, man.
Exactly, man. Like I said, yeah, those are definitely good times, dude. Shit. How do you feel about everything else that's been going on, man, with the protesting and BLM and everything that's just been going on, man? Do you have any opinion or thoughts on it?
Well, I have an opinion. I just think, like, my mind thinks in very conspiracy type ways. Like, I always think it's a higher thing going on. Like, I always think something bigger is at play at all times when something like this happens.
Definitely, I agree.
So I don't know. I don't like that we're fighting with each other. But I just also, like, I can't necessarily. I grew up hating the cops, man. Like, I was a skateboarder. I got arrested when I was a little kid. Like, 12 years old, I got arrested and put in juvenile hall for skateboarding, like, basically trespassing. That's what they call it, because they put a sign up and trespassing at that point.
Yeah.
And just, like, neighborhood cops just harassing me and my friends. And then later on, I kind of did a lot of graffiti and got in trouble with that, too. And I hate cops. Like, I hated cops growing up. But, like, in my age, you know, like, I don't know. I just see them, like, I see it as a job that I wouldn't want to do, you know?
Definitely.
So,
yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, and both sides, like, yeah, man, like, they need to be held accountable, you know? With what's going on, I don't know if, like, canceling the police completely is the answer. I think maybe, like, going after, like, the police unions, what's protecting them, you know? Like, why these guys don't get charged the way a civilian would get charged. You know what I mean?
That's the key right there. They can't, and also I feel like you can't investigate yourself. Why can't them investigate themselves? Are you ever going to find something wrong in your own actions, really? Like, are you going to be partial to that? There's no way. There's no way you're going to be partial. So I think one thing, yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. You need to have, I think there needs to be a independent group of people or a company or something that reviews when cases go bad, when somebody gets shot, when they use deadly force, when they use too much force. It needs to be somebody else governing them that has no entity or no tie to them, because that's the only way you're going to get something that's equal and fair. Yeah.
And, like, it's just, they don't, like, cops and politicians alike, they don't get in trouble the way we do. You know, like, it just doesn't happen. And you know, it's definitely a race thing. It's definitely, like, it's related, definitely, like, in, you know, in every way, but I think it's also just like a privilege, like who you are, your status, and, like, what is it, class, like a class type of thing, you know? Because, like, you know, like, politicians never get in trouble for shit either. Like, they're just, like, these huge, like, cases that come against them and nothing, you know? Like,
well, look, they take money from bad entities, you know, and then they push these agendas because they're getting paid. Like, what part of that is civil service? Like, you're not serving the people at that point, you're serving yourself.
Yeah.
You're getting paid for something and you're doing something that you know is wrong. I mean, you're about the money, and it's like, it's the point where it's like, it seems like to me, and it's not every politician, but the majority, they value money over their constituents.
Definitely, man. Like, and I just think it's across the board, really. Like, with as far as politics is involved, like in my opinion, there's all races of people doing fucked up things in politics.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh yeah.
my friend, my old boss Julius, like he was like he's always trying to get into politics. He works in a church as a pastor, but he also is trying to always kind of like, you know, meddle in politics, and especially in where he lives, like his housing community. And he was telling me stories about these people like that, just like been on the board forever, just like milking the system, you know, like just all these funds just come up when they don't have receipts for anything, and it just they're just taking a lot of money and like taking advantage of it, you know. So it's crazy, you know.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what it is. Like I don't know what the answer is really, but as far as the police thing, I would definitely say like we need to start looking at their unions that protect them.
Definitely.
You know, because just like at a construction job, you can't get fired. You know, like what do you think? Like a police union is the same type of thing. It protects them. You know, it makes sure that they are not prosecuted the same way civilians are. So they're enforcing laws that, you know, like they're not really having to pay for. Like they're not having to. If they do something wrong, they don't have to live by the same law as us. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You see how hard it is just to arrest somebody when they exact violence on camera, and you see the violence isn't warranted, but yet people don't get arrested. Like Breonna Taylor's killers aren't arrested yet, and they literally busted in her house and shot her for no damn reason.
And that was federal too. That was the FBI.
Yeah. Oh, you know they ain't getting in trouble. They ain't getting.
Was it the FBI or was it the SWAT team? I don't.
It was. I want to say it was a SWAT team, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had another you know, like FBI or something like that there too. But it was a SWAT team, and they did a no-knock warrant, which is the dumbest shit. They said that the postmaster told them that a drug dealer was getting mail sent there. That's what they said. The postmaster said, and the postmaster was like, "I never told them that shit."
Wow.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and I think maybe look like let's look at that, you know. But I don't think all cops are fucked up like that. I think there's a lot of good ones out there, but they're not. Just like people, though, I don't think they're in positions of power. You know, like power is like a thing that like I believe bad people want. You know, more than good people. Most good people just want to like, I'm cool, just making music and hanging out. Maybe give me a few dollars.
Yeah.
Like, most people are cool, man. Like they don't want to control everybody. You know, they don't want to control everything. So I think it's definitely just like it's. If we end it in this sense, we're gonna see it pop up in history again, you know, like it's just what it is. I think it's good and evil is always going to be struggling, you know.
Yeah.
Always going to be some type of thing like that.
Yeah. It's crazy too, because like even for like so-called, you know, like good cops, like I know every person who's law enforcement isn't out there and they have these evil thoughts where they want to kill people or whatever, or they think this person's worse than this person or whatever. I mean, I just seen a story yesterday about like 12 NYPD cops who tried to be whistleblowers, and it's like, you know, they're basically fighting just to tell the truth, and they're fighting against everybody else because everybody else is trying to keep the old guard. It's literally like a gang, dude. It's like you can't go against the gang, dude. Once you're in the gang, you can't go against the gang. Even if you feel it's wrong in your heart, you stay with it. And that's the only issue I have, is that if you're in something and you know it's wrong and it's not like something you believe in, but yet you're a part of that group, you're gonna get grouped in with that group.
Yeah, well, plus with this group too, though, like they also like they can do more, you know, like they have the system to find your ass wherever you go, you know, and like scary shit, you know. It's like a highly technological gang, you know, like that has tabs on everything you do, you know. So
military grade weapons, you know, like.
So if you do something, if you notice something fucked up, then and you start mentioning it, then you're fucking with the real wrong people. It's not just the mob, you know, like back in the 50s or the mob. We'll find them, you know. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they got
a whole different level. This is a whole different level. Yeah. When you're in the game, like to be law protectors, and you can break the law. You know what I'm saying? You can break the law because you're the one supposed to be upholding it.
Yeah, I think about that in lots of like different ways. Like here's an example. Like I'm doing it right now. Because I know for a fact. I hope this doesn't get me in trouble, but I know for a fact Frito-Lay is unhealthy. that like to eat chips is unhealthy, right?
Yeah.
It's an unhealthy thing. It's killing people. It's got a lot of cholesterol. There's a lot of grease and shit in it. But I need a job, you know. So like, there's that too, you know. Like there's a lot of shit we all kind of do that we like. We're
Exactly.
just we have to turn the cheek just to go another day and make our money, you know.
Yeah, I hate to say it. It's like, you know, everybody isn't, you know, nobody's perfect. Nobody can say that I don't support anything or you know, do anything that isn't, you know, with somebody. You don't know. That's the thing. There's so many companies and entities and companies that own companies. You really don't know at the end of the day who you're supporting unless you go back and do the fucking trail. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's a lot of work to do with everything you're buying. Okay, let me see if these people are bad. Let me see if these people are bad. Like, that's a lot of fucking work, you know? So
you might find out that you don't have any more possessions.
Right?
you gotta get rid of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, dude. Definitely.
Just shoes, dude. Adidas, you know, like you don't know where they're being made, you know, like you don't know who's making them.
Yeah, how much they're paying these people to make them, you know.
Yeah.
If it's a like a sweatshop, you know what I'm saying? You don't know.
Yeah. I brought that up before about like China, you know, it's just we turn the other cheek because it's like we're getting stuff for cheap, you know? Like, but there was videos like in 2011 of people just jumping out of like the iPhone factories, like just they're so miserable, you know? Like,
wow.
They're just working for nothing and just like having to work super long hours, you know? Like, so we're basically contributing to slavery in another country, you know? So it's just, what do we do? You know?
Yeah, it's tough, man, because if you follow the trail of a lot of shit, you're not going to like where it leads. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just period. You're not, because, you know, when you get to a certain level of, you know, business, you get to a certain level of business, you're not winning by being the nice guy or being the guy doing everything right. When you start getting to a certain level, you're fucking over people. And you know that. You have to know that. You can't sit in your world and say, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong, because you know. You can see it if you look. But, I mean, there's people who, you know, you just put the blinders on. I don't see anything. I'm just living my life, you know, whatever.
Exactly. It's crazy, man.
It is.
I do it too.
Everybody does to an extent. Everybody does to an extent, definitely.
Yeah.
You know? Because there are times, you know, where you're just like, man, I gotta focus on me. And if you don't focus on you and yours, sometimes, you know, like you have to put up the blinders. Sometimes that's a necessity, you know. Yeah. But then it's also a necessity to have to take those off sometimes and see the whole perspective.
Yeah.
You know. Well, damn, man, I don't want to keep it on the negative forever, dude. I do appreciate I do appreciate your perspective, man, and hearing your thoughts. But let's get back to you know, being creative and shit, man. So how long have you been DJing?
So for me, I wanna give like I'll try to make it quick, but I'm gonna give the whole thing.
You're good.
So my friend Eric Reyes, his dad was like a narc cop.
Oh. And
he like a narcotics cop, you know? And he was just like this gangster ass dude, Puerto Rican guy, had a lowrider, and like he was just the reason I'm bringing him up is because it kind of all ties into the story. Like he bought, like he's a crazy dude, but he bought my friend turntables. So my friend Eric got turntables. And then it was like a ripple effect with all my friends, kind of like they all wanted to do that after a while, you know. It was like, around 90, I want to say 97, 98, like around then when just like Q-Bird and all that stuff was just heavily influencing, like, you know, all of hip hop basically, you know.
Right.
And it was just, so this dude gets turntables. My friend Ian got turntables and got really good at scratching. And then, and my friend Trevor, who you know, right?
Yeah.
Trevor, yeah. Trevor got turntables probably like I want to say 1998 or 99, one of those years. And I would like, we were skaters at the time. We skated together, and we'd be skateboarding, and then we'd go over to his house and chill for a little bit, and then he'd just start like scratching, cutting it up and everything, and I would just like chill there, you know, and just like listen and just be like, damn, this is dope, you know. I wish I could do something musically. I'd always be like saying to myself, I wish I was like, because I had a relationship with music from a young age, you know, like where I'd just be in my own room, just like learning songs, like memorizing them and everything.
Right. Yeah.
But no musical instruments. I just I didn't have anything really like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say the only musical people. There's music in my family. My mom's grandpa was a jazz drummer.
Okay.
No, my mom's father, sorry, was a jazz drummer, and that's about it. Like that's him, really. And everybody else was just kind of like auto mechanics and stuff like that. So didn't have much like musical influence around me until Trevor, really, like just like listening to him, and I remember all these guys kind of like my friend Ian. I think he had a job and got his own turntables, but these guys kind of like they got lucky and their parents gave them turntables and all that, you know.
All right. Yeah.
I remember I was like, God, I gotta get those, you know. But I know my parents aren't gonna buy that for me. That's too much. You know, they would never do that. So I spent about like 2 years just working like odd jobs, and eventually I worked for a while at an old folks home, like a retirement home,
Mm-hmm.
and saved up, and like after a year, I convinced my dad to take me to Sacramento to go to Imagine. You know Imagine?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went there and you know, spent my money on techniques, and I got a Newmark mixer, and then just a ton of vinyl, like a stack like that big, like probably like that much drum and bass too, because I remember that store was like big on drum and bass, like, and it was a thing at the time, and I was like, word, so I'll try that too, you know, but I'm gonna get majority like hip hop and like Bay Area underground hip hop and stuff. So I got turntables in probably 2000, I think. So 2000, so about 20 years.
Damn, man. Work, dude. Put in that work. Hey, just that goes to show that you really wanted it, because you said you saved for like a year. Like,
yeah,
it's hard
to
keep your focus on something for a year if it's that far out. You know what I'm saying? So to keep your focus and to get it, like, you really wanted that shit. That's what's up.
And I remember during that time, like, when I was working and saving my money, I was getting in trouble like here and there because I was still skateboarding with my friends, and like we'd get caught stealing shit. We do like stuff was getting bad, you know. We were doing dumb shit, and but I was always good in school though. I was always on point in school, like with my grades. Like, but I'd always get in trouble. My parents were always like conflicted with me. They're like, "What the fuck? What's up with this dude?"
Yeah, I don't get it. He's smart, but he's doing dumb shit.
Outside of school, he's really stupid. So like yeah, so I got a report card that was like all A's, so straight A's, and I was doing community service at the time for getting caught stealing. So I remember just like my dad would pick me up from school and bring me to this it was actually an old folks home, one of the ones that I later ended up working at. But he would take me to this old folks home like to do my community service, and like I would always just be scared of him because, like, I was in trouble during that time, you know? Like, that was the time. Like, you know, when you're younger, like, there's just that era where
yeah,
I fucked up during that time, and it sucked.
Yep.
So, I got a good report card, but I was like, they don't give a shit about that, man. I'm fucking up, you know? And then my dad just, like, he took me to Sam Goody, and I got Gangstar Moment of Truth. And that album just like every song on it to me was just like amazing. Like there's so many lessons and like everything like that, you know.
Great album. That's a very good album.
Yeah, dude. And I just bumped that. Like I remember the Discman, like, like just bumping it, you know, and it really just like just made me want to like get into hip hop in some way, you know, contribute to it or just try to do it, you know. And then now it's just like a second nature, man. I don't care if I ever make money off of it. It's like,
right. No, I feel you, man.
Love, bro. It's like therapy.
Yeah, definitely. Now, when did you progress into production and making beats?
I think it was like 2 years after having turntables. I was working steady at that time, and like I had money, and I was like, start making beats, and then where do I go, you know? So I went to I think it was Maytan Music, and I got you remember those Boss drum machines? Like Boss 303, I think. Yeah. Like it's a Roland product, but it's like a cheaper version or whatever. So there's a Boss drum machine I got. I started making beats on that, and it just came to me real quick, like just what to do and everything, and not just like playing the music. I actually say this is interesting, but I would actually say that like the programming came to me more naturally,
right?
Like in the beginning, which actually like made me scared when it came time to like perform and stuff like that. Like, because I always like looked back at my like beginnings and I was like, I'm not really a musician. I'm a programmer guy, kind of like when it comes to beats, you know. Like because I remember it was like I would play like melodies on the like they have like little melodies and little bass like instruments in it. So I'd play like a little melody and then get the main idea that way live and then fix it in editing and then go back in and just like do all these little like crazy things like in editing, you know, like and so like I was really just like a like programming guy like for a little while.
Well, technically, dude, that's mixing, bro. Like you're going in there and you're affecting things and you're doing shit. That's mixing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can call it it's drum programming, but it's also like once you're tweaking shit like that, now you're getting in the mixing room. You know what I'm saying? So
I never like the reason I lost like appreciation for it though is like when I started getting into like started DJing around and then watching Trevor started like to drum for people and stuff like that, I just started seeing music in a different way and I was like, oh, I'm not a like I always everything that happens in life I always take it out on myself, you know, like so I'm like, well, I faked it, you know, like I'm not a real musician. I'm just programming. Those guys are real musicians.
It's levels to it, bro. Because I can say the same thing. I don't know how to play an instrument, man. And you know, I feel like over the years, I have learned to become more musical. There was a point where I felt like the same way like you're saying right now. It's like, dude, all I do is fucking, you know, press these fucking drum pads, and you know, and I move shit around. You know, like I don't even know how to play shit. But over the years, I've ended up trying to figure out keys and melodies, even though I still don't know how to play, but I have a better understanding of how to put shit together. You know what I'm saying? So it helps out more. And eventually I'm gonna learn how to play something. I am, you know, it's just the next progression for me, you know?
Yeah. And really it's like, I don't for me now, it's like the programming, like the whole idea of that is like building a bass, you know, like building like a cool bass and then now that I can kind of play stuff live more, and then but the like scratching and everything has always been kind of like I could do that live.
Yeah.
But like the everything else, you know, when I first started playing guitar, like when I recorded it, I would do like one chord at a time, and I'd go back and record another chord, you know, like
that's
so I wouldn't even really.
Like, sometimes that's how I lay my keys. You know what I'm saying? I might okay, I know this one chord. Let me play that. Okay.
Yeah, but can I go from that smoothly enough? You know,
I can't. You know, I'm not good enough to go boom, 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 but I can go boom, stop, boom. Okay, stop. But as long as it gets there, it doesn't matter, man. Like I'm obviously not gonna play it live, but you know, you can listen to it, you know. So
yeah, honestly, like even now, like if there's something that I just feel like I cannot, like I could play it live, but it's just never gonna sound the way I really hear it, you know. And I want it to sound on recording, though, you know. So it has to be just like boom. And then I'll go back and do the other part or whatever. But, you know, it's getting there, you know. But I used to be really down on myself about that when I got into, like, when I started seeing all this live stuff. Because for me, it was like I was in my bedroom, like, for a long time, just, like, programming and then just doing little scratches and stuff like that. So it wasn't like and if, like, when I saw real musicians playing live, I just had this feeling like I'm not doing that enough. You know, I'm not just like just letting it flow and like letting it go, you know, and like that's it, you know.
Yeah.
But
see, so man, this is what I've been meaning to ask you about too, because I know you got one of these little motherfucking joints, man. What's up, bro? Because you're like dope with this shit, man. I need some lessons or something. Like, how are you making your beats on there, bro? Like, what's your process?
So, basically what I do is I find like a cool sample or whatever to work with, sample it, and then the thing is they're crazy. It's just one beat. Or no, not one beat. It's one bar.
Yeah.
Each pad for a pattern or whatever is one bar. Mm-hmm. So that was what was crazy for me in the beginning. I was like, how do you make a whole song with one bar? Like, it's gonna be crazy. And then I like it's about putting the bars together, and then you got a total of 16, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what I do is like I can't make a whole song with just one of those things. Like I'd have to have like 2 or 3 like connected and have all these different parts and everything, you know. But what I do is I'll get like the verse together first or the chorus together like how I want it first, and then I'll record all that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tedious, man. It's tedious because I track it all out. I'm real.
I was gonna say, like getting your sounds out there, you got to track. You tracking everything individually? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the point where I'm at. I got a couple of little ideas on there, and I'm like, okay, I kind of want to use those. And I'm like, okay, am I going to try to track it out? Am I just going to put it in there as like a 2-track and just like deal with it like that? So that's where I'm at. I haven't
yeah.
taken anything out of it yet. I just have shit in it. I haven't taken anything out yet.
I got you. So what I recommend is like you have like at least four bars or four of the patterns, you know, like 4 pads, like empty, and you just copy what you have, you know, like from other patterns, copy them down to there, and then like take out, you know, like it's so tedious, dude. Like I don't even know why I do it. The only reason I mess with it so much is because it's so dope. The effects like are crazy. Like there's just the weirdest like live like crazy like effects, you know, like
Yeah.
and the drums and everything are pretty dope for a little weird toy.
Yeah,
And
I made
like
a couple of patterns in there. I'm like, damn, this sounds kind of dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. But like yeah, what I do is I'll get like the idea of the song, and if it's too much, like sometimes it'll go like I'll have like what is it? 12 of those things, 12 patterns like filled up, and I'll only have 4 empty ones at the bottom, and then I'll just go through and kind of copy the ones that I want to record down. And then I go through each pattern and take out the hi-hats, take out the drums and all that. So I just have whatever I'm going to record on the one track. So it's very tedious.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm like, damn, dude. I was hoping I'll be able to find a quicker way, but nah.
I know. That's why I was like, dude, does he really want to hear this?
No, I do, really. Eventually, I'm going to nerd out one day and figure that shit out and track some shit into like Logic or something.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is. Just like you're just geeking out on this stupid little thing. Like okay, I gotta go back now and take out the hi-hats, and you take them all out, and then you go to record, and then you realize you have a few hi-hats still in there. You gotta go back, take them out, and then yeah, that's how I've been doing it. But I've been doing it multi-track because like I think like the first thing I made, I recorded all in like just stereo,
right?
And it's just you can't do anything with it.
You don't have any control really. Yeah, you can only do so much, so.
Yeah. Can't pan anything. Everything's gonna be right in the center. Like all the drums are just gonna be right in the center. So,
yeah. Like, panning, can't do anything with it. So yeah, no, definitely, I totally agree with that, bro.
You know what I'll do though? I'm gonna make like one of those like time lapse videos of like me just like doing like going through and recording something.
That'd be interesting. I would definitely want to see that.
Yeah, like how you copy them and everything. They're so funny though, man. That's like a programmer's dream though. Those little things.
No, your videos using that, and then you got the you're doing a little scratching on top of it too. Like, man, those things. I'm like, dude, this fool is fucking dope at this shit. Like, he's making hella dope beats on there. Like, I hear you like you flipped a couple samples with it. Like, I'm like, dude, you're doing it. I like that.
It's dope.
I need to get myself using that more.
You know what really, like, I got those things probably like a month before I went to this thing in Brooklyn. I just, out of nowhere, I saw these dudes on the internet, and they're having a show, and it's all like a bunch of dudes that play like the drums on MPC and like live, like they play like real like breaks and everything, just like live with their fingers. And they were having a show there, and they're like, producers, come down, like if you want, sign up, and you can just show a couple beats or whatever you want to do.
Okay.
So I brought my little thing and my portable turntable and just like rocked for a little bit.
Nice.
But some of the dudes I met there are like all into this like lo-fi hip hop stuff, and they use like nothing but SP404, like that SP404 is so dope, dude. Like I was watching these guys rock with just an SP404 on stage, just like killing it, dude. I was just like,
live effects on that, crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I was just like, dude, this is better than me in like 500 turntables or whatever and 500 arms. This is so dope, dude. And this like one little thing.
Yeah. And
it was dope, man. So like, and I started building with them on Instagram and everything, and a lot of those guys they're just really dope. They showed me a lot of cool things,
That's what's up, man. That's all it's about, man.
It's more of a simple thing.
Get the community and learning shit and sharing what you know, man. Like, and I'm pretty sure in New York, there's producers fucking everywhere. Like everywhere you turn, probably another dude is fucking doing dope shit. You know what I'm saying? So
it's like everywhere you work too, dude. You're like, oh, you make music too?
Yeah,
oh.
Yeah. That's always a good one. Oh, you make music, bro? So do I. What do you do? And then it's on from there.
It's real interesting, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. So what's next for you, bro? Like, what's next for you creatively? Like, you working on any projects or anything, or?
Um, I'm trying to get like my last project. I'm trying to get it on all the streaming services, but I used 3 songs that like had real popular samples,
Mm-hmm.
and like I can't seem to get it past these people that distribute my music.
Really?
They want me to get the samples cleared.
Oh
They
wow.
want, yeah. So I'm trying to figure out how I can bypass that or whatever.
What
But
are you going through?
Lander, it's like a
Oh, I've heard
it's
of
what
that.
Lander's what I've been using to just do my mastering because it's just like a pre-programmed mastering thing tool.
I've used it before. One of my friends had a membership, and we kind of messed around with some mixes just to see how it would sound. I ended up
Yeah,
doing the master myself, but I like it if
yeah,
you don't have the option. If you just want to get your shit to kind of like
exactly.
real quick,
Yeah,
no, it works.
yeah. But if it was like a album with vocals and all that, like I don't think I'd be using it on that though.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of
It
tough
doesn't
when
work
you get
for
the
me.
vocals too, because you want to be able to have a little bit more control. I mean, it's a good algorithm. It picks up decent, but there are sometimes you'll get some pumping in the bass and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Exactly. Yeah.
that's
Yeah. So I started using that for just like I was tooling around with it for free just to master and stuff, and then they had some advertisement on there or whatever saying like you can distribute your music too to all the major platforms through us, like
okay.
since you're already a member or whatever. So I was like, all right, do that. But every time they notice a sample, it's just like the end of the world.
Okay.
And
I can show you something. The company that I go through, it will probably help for you too because I know you make instrumentals and you pitch your music for like placement and shit too, right?
yeah,
I got a website I'm going to show you. I distribute through there all my Jay Walker music, and I've never had a issue getting any sample cleared, and I use samples. So
you use like any like real popular ones because one of mine was Bill Withers.
I've used some popular shit. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
used shit that if
like
you
real
would
noticeable.
know what it is, but I
Yeah.
haven't. Luckily, I haven't had any issues, and it isn't like I'm fucking pushing a million fucking streams or anything like that.
Exactly. That's what I was like thinking too. Like I even wrote them an email. I was like, listen, I know I'm not doing that great. Like, so what are you talking about? You really think like I'm gonna I even get noticed by these people? And
I
they're
think
like, no,
I
we
think
can't
they're just
afford to do
covering
that.
their ass just in case. You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah.
playing extra hard on it, which I mean, it's
Yeah.
probably good for them. They're covering their ass so they don't get in trouble at the end. So because the first person who's gonna get
Yeah.
sued is them, then you. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah.
yeah, they're gonna be, oh
Exactly.
Andrew, you let that go, and they're gonna be like, we didn't know it was him. So.
Yeah, we don't.
Definitely, I got somewhere I can let you know about. I can send you the email after we're off of here, and I'll send you
Cool.
the website, and then you can check it out. It's
All right.
pretty cool, man. So I think it might work for you.
Yeah, I mean, because like you can't hold back music, even though it's using like that's my view on it. Like, I love the fact that like all these artists made all this great music, and we can use it and everything, but we put in a lot of work to flip these things sometimes, like,
Very much so.
and it's like it's bringing back memories of your awesome song, like, but I think like that, but I don't realize when I'm thinking like that it's not Bill Withers, it's not Boys to Men. It's the people who own, the masters or whatever is going on, and most of the time it's not them.
Time they don't own their music.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
sucks. Some publishing company owns it or whatever,
exactly.
or some record exec, and they're just like, oh, cha-ching, pay us.
Yeah,
It's not
they
about
don't.
the art; it's just about the money.
But I'm very artist based, so like that's all I'm really thinking about. I'm like, no, put it out there, man. So if they do see it, then like if it does hit real big, then I'll have money to pay them.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, all they're really gonna do is either, you're gonna cease and desist. But I mean, unless you really blow up like on some fucking
Yeah,
Pharrell Robin Thicke shit, then your ass will get sued. You know what I'm saying? Because they made fucking hella money off that song. But
which I don't understand though, because maybe what happened with them is it blew up and everything, and their label just kind of failed to like notice it and everything too,
the thing is, it wasn't even a sample. It was they were the Marvin Gaye's family was saying that it was the same like melody. Like they didn't sample it, they like replayed it. You know what I'm saying? So
like Sam what is that, Sam Smith and Tom Petty? I think Tom Petty said something like about one of Sam Smith's songs or whatever that was like, no, it's in the same progression. It wasn't Tom Petty. It was whoever owns the masters or whatever.
Right.
It was like, you know, this is in the same progression, you know, like, so
But you don't
we
own,
can't even.
you don't own chord progressions though.
Yeah, I know. That's what they want to like. They want to control it even more to that point where you can't even be similar, you know? Like it's like the likeness. Oh no, it's my likeness. It was like my song.
Yeah, but that's the crazy thing though. Is like when I first heard the Blurred Line song, I thought that shit was sampled. I thought it was sampled, and come to find out it wasn't. But then I was like, damn, that really sounds like fucking Marvin Gaye though. And then sure enough, they got fucking sued.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the music game's crazy, man. That's why I'm kind of glad. When I was younger, like you said, like, you know, we all had the aspirations of trying to make it and, you know, be big and all that. And especially after moving to LA, I'm kind of glad I didn't make it, dude. I'm kind of glad, well, make it like that or whatever. I'm the type of person, dude, as long as I can make a living on what I do, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need the world. You know what I'm saying? I just need to be able to take care of me and mine. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know, so, and if I can do that for my art, all the better. I'm not artist, so, but I had to get to that point though, where I had to realize, what am I really doing this for? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I doing this to try to blow up? Because that shit might have already sailed. You know what I'm saying? And if it did, what you gonna do now? Are you gonna keep making music, or are you gonna be like, oh fuck it, I didn't make it, so I'm gonna quit?
And it seems like so many of them do that too, or like or they go into like they're just being an entrepreneur and they go into something totally different. It's like, yeah, but your music was so dope. How come you don't do that anymore? Like, you don't. How could you make something so dope and not love it still? You know,
like too much time into this, and I know you can probably feel the same way too. You're going on 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So like, you invest that kind of time, dude. It's like, I don't want to throw it away. I have to find a way to make all this work make something for me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm just starting to figure it out now. You know what I'm saying? And that's 20 years into it. You know, so shit happens.
Yeah, it's that'll really kill the inspiration and a lot of things too, is when everybody just wants to like, they want to make it, you know, like we want to get paid now for our shows. We want to do this. We want to go to the next level. Like, if it's just that, you know, like I don't know. I guess that maybe that's what killed it, and just being young and kind of naive and everything too, you know, not realizing how much I love it, you know, not, you know, that's really what it is.
You got to give yourself time to get to that point, because I mean, over the years, I've worked with a lot of people who, you know, you start out and you got that love. It's exciting. You're working with your friends. You're doing shows. You know, you might have girls getting at you. Oh, you're a rapper. Oh, cool. You know, everybody's all happy and shit. But then it's a point where it starts to become work, and you got to put in work. And then that's when you start to see certain people, they don't answer the phone anymore when it's time to practice, or they're not excited to like work on this song and come to the studio or whatever. So you have to have a certain love to keep doing this, man. And that's why I love about a lot of my friends like you and other people that I know that have been doing this for 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. Like, you got to have the love to do this, man. Like, you can't just be doing this shit just to do it because it's cool or it's hot. You'll be gone within a year. Guaranteed, you'll be done, because you're not gonna make money. You're not gonna blow up, and then you're gonna be like, well, fuck this shit, dude. I'm just gonna go get a job.
Plus, as artists, dude, you just always like, I mean, unless your whole thing is just to like just make dope shit and be an artist of that, you know, and always be relevant, like E40, you know, like that dude's crazy, you know. But and I respect his art, you know, like, because it's always just like it's always just dope, you know. But I realize myself, like, there's times in my life where I'm just into making shit that I want to hear at the time, which is not necessarily dope to everybody. It's real relaxing. It's real meditative, you know, like stuff like that. Like, it's not gonna blow up. So, but I love it, you know, like this ability to do it, you know.
And that's the thing, dude. Having that love is gonna lead you to what you need to be led to. You know, you just keep the love alive. That's all I can tell anybody. Like, especially somebody younger, I would just be like, man, make sure you love this shit if you do, and just keep that love alive. Because once that love dies, that's when you're gonna start thinking about the next shit to do. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to stay hungry and stay passionate about this, because you can forever learn. You can learn as long as you make music the rest of your life. There's always something to learn. Nobody knows everything.
Yeah.
The greats don't know everything.
You're never gonna know everything,
but they don't know everything. Nobody knows. So
some of the greatest music is from people that just didn't know really what they were doing, like noodling around on the guitar, and you're just like, what? well, that was cool because it was different, you know? Like, it's not just the same, everybody's playing chords right now, and you just did this weird shit. That's what it is, you know?
Exactly.
So that's why, like, when I think back, I to being ashamed of, like, the whole, like, getting into music, like, just kind of programming and being real programming, like, it's just a phase, like self-hate, you know? Like, it's just, like, watching somebody else and, like wondering why you're not that way, you know? Why you're not that free. But, like, now I see it as, like, way more freedom because, like, I allowed myself to learn more and just be patient with the learning of like, just live playing and everything.
Yeah.
And now I got this, like, thing where I got a bass. You know, I could build the stuff that needs to be, like, right on beat and everything, and then just throw shit all over it, you know? It's like a painting, you know?
Yeah, which is awesome, man. I was like, that's how I posted that song where you sent me that bass line and I sampled it, dude. Like, man, that shit is fun to me. Like, I love working with live bass, dude. Live bass is one of the funnest instruments, and I think that might be something I might end up trying to play. I don't know. It's either gonna be bass or it's gonna be piano, one or the other. I'm gonna learn how to play one of them.
Good way to start, the bass, because it's just, you know, if you start off with a 4-string, it's just 4 strings. It's simple. You know, you play one note at a time usually at the most. You know, unless you're extremely advanced and you're playing, like, chords and, like, voicings and stuff like that, it's just one note at a time, and you're just boom, boom, you know, so it's real cool, and it gets you ready for playing, like, lead guitar if you ever pick up that, you know?
Yeah, see, that's what I want to get to more of. That I want to get to more of that. Like, I'm trying to build into being that musician that we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I can play something and it's not just, you know, but I look at it like what we do, we're still musicians, bro. Like, the drum machine is an instrument, man. I mean, nobody just knows how to just walk up to that and work it without learning and going through how to use it, just like using any other instrument. So
exactly,
you know, you can't knock yourself, but I mean, you do. It's like with this, it's always a progression. It's always wanting more. You know what I'm saying? So that's the next thing I want. You know,
that's dope. Your beats are hot, man. Like, so just having that, like, just that base of, like, what you have right now, you know, like, how to pick your, like, claps and everything that sound dope with the melody and everything, and then you can just freak whatever instrument you learn on top of it, you know, like, and just make some real dope shit, you know, like, just keep going with it for the love, you know.
Yep, I'm my thing now is I play a lot of live percussion on my shit now. I bought a lot of little percussion shit, so like that's my thing now. So I feel like I'm kind of getting into that musician mode. Like, I might program the drums, but it's like, okay, now I'm gonna add this tambourine, or now I'm gonna play this, you know, I'll play this little hand drum real quick, or now I'm gonna add this clave, you know. So now I feel like I'm starting to get to that. Okay, now we making music. Now we really making music, you know, because it feels different when you're playing shit. It just feels different, you know. Yeah,
it does, man. You're vibing along, and just with hip hop, it's so cool to incorporate live music or live instruments, because you just got to be simple and keep the groove, you know, like find something that sounds good and just keep doing it.
Definitely.
And that's all music really is. And then you get to the, like, later on, you get to the changes and timings and all that, you know. But I like walking slow with music, you know. I'm not there yet. I'm not reading music. I'm not, like, reading time signatures necessarily, but my music is going from different time signatures at times. I do dabble in that a little bit, and, like, you know,
that's advanced shit right there. Getting advanced.
Yeah. Just always trying to, like, push it, you know, like. There's been times I got really caught in just, like, straight loops, you know, just the same thing over and over again, you know, trying to be like somebody else, but you know, like, I like making little changes, and I like everything to be, like, try to be better than the last, but also, with that being said, like, when you're always trying to be better than your last, you also got to, like, take a step back and, like, maybe better than my last is simpler and not as complicated, you know. I get caught up in that a lot, so I'm like with my releases and stuff, I'll be like, okay, now I got all the beats made and all the, like, the structure of the songs laid out, so now it's time to lay some scratches over everything, you know, and make it real cool and live and everything.
Right.
And sometimes I just go so much on some things, and it works, and I'm like, I need to do that even better on the next one, and, like, but that's not. You got to be musical. You got
everything dictates itself, you know.
That's that, like, skater, like, mentality for me. It's like, I want to learn a new trick. I want to do it more technical. I want to do this, like, combine tricks or something, you know, and, like.
Yeah.
But to be musical, sometimes you just gotta, like, be simple.
True. Very true. True. Well, shit, man. I'm gonna just get ready to start wrapping up. I think I'm about to get that 2 minute warning pretty soon. So
All right, bro.
I didn't want to have to cut you off when it does come on.
No, no, no. It's all good. We gotta do this again, man. That was fun.
Oh, definitely, bro. Yeah, man. Like I said, we should definitely like hop on like a FaceTime or something and maybe jam out. Make some shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done that with a couple
Yeah.
people. It's kind of fun. I've never done it before until like these times now, but it's fun. It's the closest thing to getting in the studio right now. So
I'm with it, man. Let's do something like that.
yeah.
So just let me know, all right?
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, and I'm also gonna send you that information too. As soon as I
Okay,
post
cool.
this, I'll send that to you. Yes, I want you to check it out because might be a little easy for you to put your shit out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, thank you for making time, bro. I really appreciate talking to you, catching up, hearing your experiences and your perspective on things. It's dope, man. Thank you.
No doubt, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you very much.
All right,
We'll
bro.
talk soon, all right?
Yeah, man. Take care of yourself. I'm gonna be at you,
All
okay?
right. All right, peace, man.
All right, bro. I want to thank my man Byron for making time for me. Really appreciate his insight, his story. Very dope producer, very dope DJ. Follow his stuff. Follow his page if you don't already. Thank all of you guys for listening in to us have this conversation. I hope maybe you learned a little bit about Byron or about myself or about just the situation in hand right now. Hope everybody has a great weekend. I will be back on Monday. I have 5 more interviews next week. Monday is a re-interview because I lost my interview with Dialect HD, and he has been the most requested person I've done. Everybody's asking me where this interview's at. So we're going to do it on Monday. I'm going to save it right. It's going to be on here, and we're going to be good. So, yeah. So until then, you guys be safe, be aware, wear your mask when you out, man. Don't be a dummy, and have a good weekend.